What's good, y'all? L Famous, living my life, not thinking about it twice. Don't be scared to like, subscribe, or share this dope content if you like it. Let's get it. Yeah, let's get it. Now this joint right here is about two gun busters that was crippled. Yeah, man, that was crippled. You heard? Now, one of the dudes' name is Ed Barnwell from out of Webster Project. You heard? You know what I'm saying? Butler houses, Morrisania houses, whatever you want to call it. You heard? You see what I'm saying? Webster houses. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know about Ed Barnwell. You heard? Ed Barnwell was a crazy dude. You heard? Rest in peace to Ed Barnwell. You heard? Ed Barnwell was a type of dude that, you know what I'm saying, he walked around with a cane, right? And he had a crazy walk. Like one of his legs was like in, like was locked in this, was locked in this way. And he used to walk with like with the cane. And he was one of the most gangsterish dudes out, you understand what I'm saying? But he was official. He wasn't one of them dudes that overdo it or this and that. And he was official gangster. So if you was a gangster, he respected you. You know what I'm saying? When I first got up on Ed Barnwell, went to a club named Savoy in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know about the Savoy in the Bronx. So it was like on 167 and what's that, River? You know what I'm saying? And it was off the wall. It's like a little club joint, you know what I'm saying? But different parts of people from the Bronx come there and it be off the wall, you know what I'm saying? But one night, it was a crazy party in there. I think it was either a Christmas or a Thanksgiving party. I know it was off the wall, you know what I'm saying? And Ed Barnwell came with his goons, you know what I'm saying? And Ed Barnwell used to really roll with like one or two young niggas. You know, Ed Barnwell was one of them older cats. He was like that dude from Minister Society, you heard, that was playing around Old Dog and them niggas, that was in the car with them niggas when they went to put in that work. That's how Ed Barnwell was. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas shut up, man, put that work in. You know what I'm saying? That's how Ed Barnwell was. Always in a mess. You know what I'm saying? So one of the first times I was up on Ed Barnwell, he ain't killed nobody. He shot up the Savoy, you heard? He shot up the Savoy. Ended the Savoy that night, was off the wall, crazy, you know what I'm saying? Then, after that, I'm hanging on Web one time, you know what I'm saying? This is in the early 90s, you know what I'm saying? Early 90s, maybe, yeah, the early 90s, and this nigga Ed Barnwell, this nigga Baldy from Webster, you know what I'm saying? God bless the dead Baldy, because Baldy dead too, you know what I'm saying? Baldy from Webster stole this nigga Ed Barnwell jacket, you heard? And you know how that shit go, niggas hanging up in the house together and all that, and a nigga take something that ain't his, nigga Baldy, you know, I heard he was known for stealing and all that, being a grimy nigga, because they say Baldy was a grimy nigga, but he was keeping it real too at the same time, you know what I'm saying? He lost his life, wound up getting killed out there, you know what I'm saying? Crazy, you know what I'm saying? And he was a grimy nigga. So the nigga stole Ed Barnwell jacket up in the house one day. So Ed Barnwell had Lil Popine busting at that nigga with a tech. That I was out there that day. That nigga Baldy came outside. That nigga Ed Barnwell was like, yo, you stole my jacket, B? You stole my jacket? Nigga was like, what? Nigga Popine. Nigga said, get that nigga Popine. That nigga started jetting because everybody knew Popine was from California. You know what I'm saying? He was the first blood that I ever met. He was the first dude from Cali that I ever met, Popine, you heard? He out here, you know what I'm saying? But he used to travel back and forth to Cali. Some years he do in Cali, some years he do out here. Then he go back to Cali, then he come back out here. And he used to be letting niggas know how it really was in Cali, that blood and gang shit was for real out there. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be putting it in, you heard? Putting it in. So Popine was only 13, chasing this nigga Baldy through the projects, busting at him with a Mac. You know what I'm saying? Shit was crazy over Ed Barnwell, because Ed Barnwell, Baldy stole Ed Barnwell jacket, you know what I'm saying? So I was there for that one. And then when I really got familiar with Ed Barnwell was one of the first joints I was messing with from around Web, you know what I'm saying, was his girl. She wasn't messing with the nigga no more, and me and her started messing around. So he used to be running around Web, telling all the gangster niggas, all my mans and niggas that know me, like, yo, man, that nigga Larry, man, from the West Side, man, that nigga got my girl, man. That nigga Larry from West Side got my girl, man. We got to do something about that, man. Trying to hype niggas up, but niggas wasn't going for it because niggas already knew what it was. They like, nigga, you just mad that Larry Larry from the west side messing with your girl right now, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't doing shit to Larry. Niggas fuck with my man Larry. You know what I'm saying? So that was hilarious. Me and my mans used to joke about that up north. How at Barnwell used to hate my guts because I bagged his joint, his childhood girl. You heard? And it was funny with me because every time he used to see me, he used to show me nothing but love. Yo, what up, lad? Yeah, B was good. This and that, that and this, that and this. I'm like, yeah, it was good, man. But I always knew in the back of my mind, nigga, you can't stand me, nigga. You know what I'm saying? This nigga Ed Barnwell got into mad shootouts growing up. I heard the nigga been shot like 6 or 7 different times, and he wound up getting killed. You know what I'm saying? He wound up. I heard he beat some dude. He was beating a dude with a cane, and the dude came back and whacked him. You know what I'm saying? He was bullying the dude. Nigga Ed Barnwell was crippled, but he used to be bullying niggas. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was crazy, man. Ed Barnwell was a beast, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You heard? Ed Barnwell was a beast, nigga. And I heard that nigga got shot like 6 or 7 different times by niggas, you heard? Growing up. And he put in a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? That's why when he was crippled and he walked with that crazy limp, that nigga was a grimy nigga, B. You know what I'm saying? That nigga was a grimy nigga, B. That nigga was like that nigga A-Wax from motherfucking Minister Society, but he was worse than that nigga. And that nigga amp a nigga in a minute. Yo, get at that nigga, man. Yo, man, why we letting that nigga come through here, man? You heard? You gotta rob that nigga, man. You heard? That nigga Ed Barnwell was one of the grimiest niggas I knew. But he wasn't that grimy. He was official grimy, you know what I'm saying? He wouldn't go against no real niggas or none of that like that. But at the end of the day, if you was sweet or you was prey, nigga, you was getting it, nigga. If you wasn't official, he ain't fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? He ain't like you. You know what I'm saying? So Ed Barnwell was one of the crippled niggas in the hood that everybody knew not to play with. You heard? Because that nigga is on go time. You know what I'm saying? And that nigga attitude was crazy. That nigga had his attitude. You know, back niggas be angry. Niggas go from 0 to 60 like nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm even like that. You know what I'm saying? Even though I got control of that now. You know what I'm saying? I got more control of that than I had when I was younger. But a lot of us, we go from 0 to 60 quick. And Ed Barnwell was one of them dudes, B. That nigga was a funny dude, man. That nigga go from 0 to 60 quick, you heard? 0 to 60 quick. You know what I'm saying? Now the next nigga that I'm gonna tell you about is Marvin Earl. Yeah, Marvin Earl, man. Come up 169 and Clay, up the steps. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Marvin Earl. He was in a wheelchair, you heard? He wasn't like Ed Barnwell. See, Ed Barnwell walked with a cane and a weird-ass walk, you heard? He had a weird-ass walk. You could tell he crippled, you know what I'm saying? But if you sleep on Ed Barnwell will blow your ass up, you know what I'm saying? That nigga keep a hammer on him, and he keeps some young boys that bust him, you heard? Now, Marvin Earl was a little different. Marvin Earl was in a wheelchair, but this nigga was one of the angriest niggas I know out there. You heard? You couldn't bump into his chair. You couldn't accidentally step on his foot. Nothing. Marvin Earl was ending the parties, getting at niggas, shooting niggas, all that. That nigga was angry. You understand what I'm saying? That nigga, whenever you see them roll Marvin Earl in a party, you already know that you ain't staying in that party all night. You heard? That party is not gonna be rocking all night. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. This nigga Marvin Earl in the wheelchair was more dangerous than dudes on their feet. That's my word, man. That's my word. When niggas roll Marvin Earl in the party, nigga only got about 15, 20 more minutes in the party, B. If you try to stay in that party all night, it's a good chance you gonna get shot. You heard? And not because you the intended target, you gonna get shot on some innocent bystander shit. You heard? Just for trying to be there, not knowing what's going on. Because everybody know, when they roll Marvin Earl in is one thing, but the real problem goes when they roll him out. You heard? Yeah, B. When they roll Marvin Earl out of that party, that's word to my mother, the party is over. It's a reason why they rolling Marvin Earl out of that party. The party could be lit. They start rolling that man Marvin Earl out of that party, I'm telling you, If you was official, you better keep it moving, B. You better get it moving because them niggas, you don't never know who this nigga Marvin Earl gonna start with next, B. And nobody was off limit for Marvin Earl. Marvin Earl was a big troublemaker, man. He was a big troublemaker, man. And I don't know if it was because he was in that wheelchair, he was miserable. Yo, that nigga was one of the biggest troublemakers out there. Everybody knew about Marvin Earl. And guess another thing about Marvin Earl, y'all? Marvin Earl used to sit on a big 4-4. He used to stay with a gun. You heard? He stayed with a gun. You heard? And he was busting it, nigga. Them niggas that roll Marvin Earl out the party. That nigga pull out his gun, wait for the niggas to come out that he want to bust at. Boom, 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 boom. And they rolled Marvin Earl down the block, B. Word to my mother, nigga. I seen it happen 2 or 3 times, nigga. Marvin Earl, nigga. You heard? That nigga was putting in work like he was on his feet. And this nigga was in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? 169 in clay. You heard? I watched Marvin Earl, no exaggeration, and I hate to say it, I watched Marvin Earl stand over a person dying and laugh. No, not even stand. Sit over a person dying and laugh, B. That's how cruel Marvin Earl was, B. I watched Marvin Earl sit over somebody that was dying and laugh. You heard? And laugh, B. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's how evil that nigga Marvin Earl was, B. He was laughing, talking to a nigga dying, B. You heard? After a party one night. You know, that nigga was crazy, Marvin Earl. You heard? You know what I'm saying? When they roll Marvin Earl in the party, is one thing. When they roll that man out the party, it's a whole nother thing. I remember one night, we in a party, my man stepped on Marvin Earl's sneaker. I told this nigga way before the party, I said, yo, if Marvin Earl and them niggas is in there, yo, B, make sure we stay far away from them niggas. Don't even look at them niggas too much. You heard? We was young niggas, but still, you never know with these niggas, man. These niggas is crazy, man. This nigga Marvin Earl is in a wheelchair, paralyzed, right? And he busts his gun more than a nigga on his feet. That's word to my mother, man. Everybody knew about Marvin Earl, B. And one thing I noticed about him was that nigga had no heart, no love for nothing. That nigga was a cold-hearted motherfucker, B. He used to crack a lot of jokes. Which let you know he had a personality, but you had to be around him, and you had to know him to see that part of him. He was a grease ball, B. Marvin Earl was a grease ball. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Dick at Barnwell respected gangsters, Marvin Earl ain't respect nobody. He ain't care if you was a gangster or not, nigga. That nigga was just on it, B. You know what I'm saying? If you was on the opposing side of Marvin Earl and them, you was on the opposing side of them Clay niggas and all them niggas from damn near, nigga, you was done with Marvin Earl, nigga. That's word to my mother, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So Marvin Earl was a crazy dude, man, in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? Ed Barnwell was a crazy dude that walked with a crazy limp. You heard? Because he got shot up so many times that nigga leg was, it was like one of his legs was dead. You heard? You know what I'm saying? But that nigga used to be moving around with a cane like a jet, like he ain't have a leg problem. You know what I'm saying? Or into all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Marvin Earl, same thing, but even worse. He's in a wheelchair. You know what I'm saying? Always got a gun. Always sitting on a gun. And he don't just be having a gun, sitting on it. Niggas be busting their shit. Nigga was busting his shit, nigga. Niggas was busting his shit. Marvin Earl used to bust his shit, nigga. And he used to have a nigga roll him down the block, roll him away from the joint, B. It's word to my mother, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Word to my mother, B. Crazy, B. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know about Marvin Earl at Barnwell. You know what I'm saying? You heard? I don't know I know Ed Barnwell got murdered. I told y'all, and I don't know what happened to Marvin Earl, you heard? Yeah. But Marvin Earl was crazy, man. And I used to be in a lot of house parties with him, man. You heard? And he used to end a lot of them joints, B. And he used to be a part of the mess, B. Nigga, he was worse than niggas on their 2 feet, man. That's the word of my mother, man. Marvin Earl, man. And I never know. Everybody always thought, I always thought like he probably was like that because he was paralyzed, you heard? And growing up in the hood, that nigga was just already crazy. You know what I'm saying? I think I heard some nigga from Boston Road shot him up or something, or somebody shot him up, put him in a wheelchair. I know that nigga was one of them angry niggas in the wheelchair, B. He was with the mess in that wheelchair, B. Everybody know it. You heard? It was times when they rolled Marvin Earl in that party, niggas leave that party, B. Telling you, B. Niggas leave that party, man, because everybody knew Marvin Earl in here. Oh, man, B. And everybody knew he was coming. Everybody knew he was coming because he don't miss no parties. Him and his man that roll him in, they don't miss no party. And that's another thing about Marvin Earl. Marvin Earl used to have different gangsters sometimes rolling them into the parties. So you know like the realest nigga boom. Yeah, that nigga might be pushing Marvin Earl. You heard that day. Different people be pushing that nigga in the parties and all that. But he had a normal nigga that used to always push him in the parties. But he had a nigga that when he used to be letting off, nigga, Marvin Earl used to be like, I'm in this right here. Doom, 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 doom. Nigga rolling them away, you heard? Nigga rolling them away. Rolling them away from the party, you heard? Because this back in the days when the cops come whenever they want, you heard? You know what I'm saying? Niggas is getting away, cold, clean. And niggas ain't telling, B. You heard? That was the era, man.